Hey everyone, Effie here. Today I'm going to do a lineup introduction of our May 2021 release. We have 10 new stamps with coordinating dies, 2 new stencils, a new pop-up die collection, which also has a coordinating stencil available separately. So let's get started. First up is our grouped fresh poppies. This is a 9 by 12 inch photopolymer set. There are 3 petal stamps, grouped layering, patent pending stamps, and then you have 3 grouped stamps for the foliage, and then you have 1 single stamp for all of the outline images, and then you have these stamps that you stamp in the center of these 2 poppies. You layer the patent pending bars and squares together to align everything, and then these 2 little stamps go over this little stem. And then there are some additional birthday stamps, and then more birthday stamps, which are really great for stamping inside of your card base. Now let's take a look at some of the stamped panels for our grouped fresh poppies. These were stamped using our Ruby Collection layering ink. And then for this panel, we used our soft cream, vanilla frosted cupcake, and beach blondie die inks. Then you have the 1 single coordinating die, which will die cut all of the images on your stamped panel in 1 single pass. And this is really great because this will even cut out all of those smaller, more narrower stems as well. So it just makes it so much easier to cut these smaller pieces that are usually a little bit more labor intensive to die cut. So this is what I really love about our I like to use 2 different colored inks to layer both of these together. You can create some really fun color combinations. So here I just stamped a bunch of panels. Then you have the 1 single coordinating die, which will cut out all 10 sentiments in 1 single pass, making it really easy for you to mass produce those graduation themed cards or those retirement themed cards. Even if you're not mass producing, if you have a bunch of these sentiments already created and you have them on the side, you can quickly grab them when you need these very specific occasion cards. Next up, we have our new Easy Expressions Sympathy themed set. This has 3 individual stamps and then 2 grouped layering stamps. You can see the little circle and then the 2 squares. You just layer or align these together from these 2 stamps, and then you end up with this stamped panel. There are 5 sentiments in this panel. It's not really a card that you ever want to make, but it's kind of one of those necessary things that you need in your stash. So it's very helpful if you have a bunch of these that you already have made that you can put onto a card front when you need to make a sympathy card. Next up is our 6 by 6 inch mini banner stamp set. This image right here, these 4 images are on 1 single stamp, and then you have all of these different sentiments that you can stamp within the banners. And really what's great about this set is that after you stamp that 1 stamp with the 4 images, you have the coordinating die, which will die cut all 4 images in 1 single pass. And this makes it so easy to mass produce these banners that you can use for really any sentiment that you have in your stash that will fit within the banners. I like the look of banners on my cards, but I just find it a pain in the butt sometimes to die cut them individually. So I decided to create a set where you can just stamp and die cut a bunch of these. Many of the sentiments in our May release stamps will fit within these banners. I made sure to coordinate that for this release. So next up is our 6 by 8 inch jumbo sentiment set. You have 4 large sentiments in this set, and then these kind of add-on sentiments that you stamp within the larger stamps. We have 4 coordinating dies for this stamp set that are available separately. They will cut out each of the larger sentiments in our jumbo sentiments. So you can also use the die cuts from our many sentiments cover plate die. There are some sentiments or words in here that you can use with the jumbo sentiments, like the thanks, the with, the best wishes, the congrats, best wishes, birthday, and you can use all of these die cuts with all of the jumbo sentiments. You can also use the different word dies from our love and hugs word dies and our sweetheart word dies with this stamp set. Next up is our 4 by 6 inch rose pretty mail set. This is a really gorgeous set. It has a more artsy feel to it. You have this one large stamp right here that you can stamp on an A2 envelope, and then you have the handmade with love stamp and then this rose stamp. So there are 3 stamps all together on this 4x6-inch set. And then on this large stamp, you have that space where you can write in your recipient's address. And all you need to do is stamp this large stamp onto the face of your A2 envelope, and these are ready to go out. Next up is our 6-piece Hibiscus Pop Up die collection. It'll come in this envelope, and then these are the 6 pieces. I do have an assembly video. I will link it in the description box. There is a coordinating stencil that is available separately. With the coordinating stencil, you can ink blend the butterflies, the leaf, and the floral portion of your hibiscus pop-ups. And this is what the pop-up will look once you have assembled it inside your card base. You can see that it is very dimensional and pretty. The hibiscus flower will also fit on your poppy pop-up base. So if you have that die collection, you can use the hibiscus with that base. Next up is our 6x6-inch foliage stencil. There are 2 images in this stencil. You can see how I've ink blended onto this panel using 2 different inks. And then I also blended some ink onto a smaller panel using the smaller image. In my opinion, you can never have enough foliage images in your stash. They're so versatile, especially if you're using them with floral images. Next up is our peony print stencils. This is a 7-piece stencil. You have 2 stencils for floral bits, 2 stencils for the foliage, and then these 2 stencils are the main petal images. And then the last stencil will be for the ink blended background. Those are 6x6-inch stencils, and then we also have a coordinating die that is available separately. Here are 2 panels that I've blended to show you guys what they look like. I have an ink blending tutorial for this set. I will link that in the description box below. And here are 2 samples where I use that coordinating die so you can see how delicate and gorgeous this die cut is. And here I did some ink blending and die cutting on an A2 panel. So here are just some more A2 size panels that I created. You can see that the ink blending possibilities are quite endless depending on the inks that you have in your stash. These are just so gorgeous. I can't wait to create all of these into cards. It's easy to mass produce and really fun as well. So here are just some of the die cuts that I've popped up onto some bright colored backgrounds. All you need to do is do your ink blending, pop up onto a fun colored background panel, and then pop on a sentiment like our many banners so you can create a nice collection of cards to give away as a gift or keep them in your stash. Here you can see the ink blended background and then the many banners and jumbo sentiments. Next up is our 6x6-inch Vivid Peonies Photopolymer set. This is also a patent pending grouped layering set. You have 3 layers for the florals, the petals, and then you have 3 layers for the leaves, and then there are these bars and squares that you use to align all of the layers for flawless alignment. Then you have these 4 little stamps that you will stamp inside the middle portion of your peonies, and then there are 4 individual sentiment stamps. Here is what the stamped panel will look like after you layer everything together. You have 2 beautiful peonies and 6 leaves. This is the coordinating die that will cut out all of the images at once. Here's a card sample that I made using our Vivid Peonies that I stamped in our Couture Color inks. Then I used our leafy bits, some enamel dewdrop dots, and our many banners. The background is one of the layers from our gingham plaid layering dies. Next up is our 6x8-inch Blossom Branches stamp set. This is also a patent pending grouped layering set. You have 2 layers for the floral petals, and then you see the bars and squares that you will just align together to line everything up. This is the stamp for the stems, and the stamp in the center of the set is the second layer of the leaves right here. And then this larger stamp here will stamp the centers of your florals. After you stamp all the layers, you will have 3 clusters. You'll have 1 large main cluster and then 2 little mini clusters that are towards the bottom of your panel. These stamped die cuts are so cute. You can see the 2 little mini die cuts and then the larger main cluster here. You can experiment with different ink colors, and it's just going to be a really fun set to use. So here is the coordinating die, which will cut out all 3 stamped images in one single pass. And here you can see I combined the blossom branches with our jumbo sentiments and our many banners stamp. Next up is our grouped fresh garden roses. This is also a patent pending grouped layering set. You have 3 layers for the florals, and each layer has these squares which will help you align all of the layers together. And then you have the 3 layers for the leaves and foliage, and you can see those layers also have the bars and squares, and then you have 3 sentiments in the set as well. Here is the coordinating die. It will cut out all of the images of the completely stamped panel in one single pass. And here is just a sample. You can see the garden roses. And then for this card, I used our A2 quilted die, our many banners, our jumbo sentiments, and our enamel dewdrops. And here are all of the cards that I made for our May 2021 release. And here's a nice gallery of all of our design team projects that they've made with our new products. If you haven't done so already, head over to our blog for all of the details on our new product release. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it regularly. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!